It is the 19th of April, I think. Yeah, 4th is the April. And that means my main comic has resumed its updates. So I have to be drawing pages again on my usual schedule. And that's one that I've inked, and the next ones that I'm sketching right now and trying to start inking today. Thankfully I have like five buffer pages done, so that should be enough to get me through this next chapter without hiccup, even if I lose, let's say, a day of work or something every couple of weeks, because I am waiting for... Oh, have I mentioned it yet? I've sent off the print files of Lovely People, the comic, everything. So I'm waiting for the books to come, and they should arrive within like the next 2 weeks, I think, if I remember the time frame the printers gave me. So most likely I'm gonna be starting to sell those books to everyone within the next month. So I have to be prepared to have time to both draw 4 pages of comic as my main job, while also doing the shop running for a little bit. So I'm kinda trying to mentally steel myself up to that, and trying to keep buffer going, so that if I don't have time 1 week for everything, then I can, have something to draw from. But that's the update for now. Book is at printers. I'm doing comic pages for SSSS again, and I'll let you guys know when the book actually arrives and show you guys if it turned out good. Excuse the sound. I think someone is using a leaf blower. Springtime stuff. It is still melting, and it's about 7 degrees Celsius today. But what I wanted to show you guys is my little very ugly but very functional little greenhouse. I'm starting to acclimate, make their seedlings used to actual sun rather than grow lights indoors. So I moved them out here for the day, and yeah, it's only 7 degrees outside, but in here, even without fully enclosing it, hold on, I have a little temperature meter. There you go, 26 degrees Celsius in here, and it's just a single sheet plastic thingy. Of course the temperature goes down if the sun isn't shining, so I can't really do this if it's overcast. But it's gonna be sunny for the next week at least, so lots of outdoor time for the plants. And I don't even have to close the whole thing completely. It still stays so warm. In fact, if I closed it completely, I think it would get too hot. So yeah, neat. Kitty has completely scratched up this tree. I'm surprised it's still alive because it goes pretty much all around. It's like all the way in here too. This one is not as bad, but all of this stuff is her scratch marks. I haven't been to the studio in a while. As you can see, I have, if you guys remember, I was pre-packaging a bunch of books to be selling before Christmas, and then I didn't. I just didn't. I needed to make lovely people. So that's what happened. I pretty much just visited here to clean a little bit during early winter, and left everything as it was. I had more important stuff to do, aka draw a whole new comic. And now that it's done, I'm here to make sure everything's okay to actually start selling it. Once it arrives within the next week, should be the time schedule I've been given. So let's see if it arrives. Sorry about the glare at the bottom of the screen. It's the camera lens of the phone is broken. So it's just a little bit of weirdness. But yeah, it's nice to be back, I guess. I will of course be selling the SSS books also, volume 3, when I sell Lovely People. But I will figure all of that out later. Now I'm just checking that everything is in order. All of my plants are dead that were in here. They survived the whole winter last year, but then I just let them die. It wasn't only that I didn't come to water them. It's I lowered the temperature in here for the winter to like 15 degrees Celsius so that I wouldn't have to pay so much in electricity, because it's kind of expensive to, you know, pay for it when it's minus 20 something outside for 2 weeks. And I noticed pretty much immediately afterwards, when that was happening, that all the plants were starting to droop, dropping leaves suddenly, because, you know, the tropical plants, they need 20 degrees Celsius pretty much to stay healthy. So I didn't bother even coming in to water them after that. I didn't have the energy or the want to do it. So now I need to clean out all of them, and that's really it. Also another box of packaging materials has arrived that I need to unbox. Alright, let's see what we got here. First, what I bought are these little paper baggies that I'm gonna try to use instead of the wrapping paper. Let me see if I have one that's packaged so you can see what I mean. Like I'm doing these little packages to protect it from any splashes or scratches in the package. So this takes a little bit of time to do this wrapping, so I'm gonna try with the Lovely People books if they would do fine in these little baggies instead. Close this with the sticker, speed up the process a little bit, and also save a little bit of weight, because this does add a little bit of weight and every gram matters. Trying to keep it under 500 grams if I can, especially within Europe. And yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna be a good idea until I get the book, obviously. But where do I have a copy of SSS? Let me get one. But I think the dimensions of Lovely People is gonna be the same width-wise, but the height is gonna be about there. It's gonna be a square book, 17 times 17. So I can kind of estimate the size of it with this one. So it will fit. It will be about there, and then I can close it. So I think this will be good. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with that one. It will probably only fit one book, maybe two, because I think Lovely People is gonna be half the size of, oops, hitting the camera, half the size as far as the estimates I got from the printer. It should be 1 centimeter. This one is a little bit over 2. Then the second thing I bought was, well, a bunch of, what do you call this? Postage stamps? Stamps, yeah. I'm gonna try to offer like a letter mail option to people within Europe, because it is considerably cheaper to a lot of countries, especially, you know, outside of the Nordics. And yeah, if I can get the package to be under 500 grams, I will. Otherwise it's gonna be pretty much the same price as a parcel, you know, with tracking and everything. But these are here if I can offer letter mail. The thing that I bought is a slightly smaller, or you can't probably see on the camera, it's a very slight difference, just a few centimeters. But this one is a little bit smaller in each dimension, which is also a little bit less heavy. Does this say the weight? No, just the dimensions. But it is obviously a little bit less heavy. Once again, very important. So this one is a true untested size, so I bought more of these also. It's the one that very nicely fits the SSSS volumes, and I'm hoping that the Lovely People one will fit inside this one. If not, it's no big deal, because I only bought 100 of these to test it out. So, you know, worst case scenario, I wasted like, I don't know, 50 bucks. I'll save them for something later, you know, mini prints or something, and I'll just keep using these ones because I know it will fit. But hopefully, at least, you know, outwardly, it does stay sidewise in the dimensions and also topwise. So if it's a little bit smaller, the only thing that will affect it is the thickness of the book, because obviously when the envelope expands in the upward direction, it kind of shrinks on the sides. So that's what's gonna tell me if it's gonna fit or not. I don't want it to be so snug that people can't get the book out, you know. It's gonna be stuck there and they have to like cut it open or something. So gonna test this out. Otherwise, just gonna stay with this size. I might actually just stay with this size anyway, because then I don't have to like stock two different size packages. I can just always keep this one. It's maybe 10 cents more expensive for me to buy this one. Poor sketchbook sits here all alone. I haven't worked in it since this one. Maybe I'll pick it up again. Probably not soon though. I'm gonna be very busy with the store and drawing comics on the side. Oh no! I thought it was gonna be about time to start planting stuff outside, but it's snowing again. I think I need to go save my strawberry plants. They're sitting there. Oh, and I have all the stuff in the greenhouse thingy. I don't think it's gonna be warm enough. I just got the email from my printer letting me know that the comic is going to be a little bit late, and I assumed it's gonna be like a week late at least, but then I read the rest of the email and they said they just finished printing it, but they need today to package them into boxes and send them to me. So when they said late, it's gonna be like 1 day late. So I really appreciate them, you know, letting me know even of such a small delay. I've been doing what's it called? I forgot the word. It's in Finnish it's a käyntikortti, but it's a business card, which basically I'm gonna be using to put into the book orders when people order them, to let them know that they should sign up for my newsletter, the one that you guys already know about. And yeah, because I want to make sure that people who just read the physical book, that they will, if they want to read my future comics whenever they happen, that they would know where to find me. So yeah, I'm gonna make this one and slip it into every order. I want the person who... So many cat hairs! I vacuumed today, but there's cat hairs in the air, so these kinda settle down everywhere. Kitty's outside. It's very cold, but it's kinda sunny. So yeah, what was I saying? Something about the business cards. So yeah, I'll finish this. This is the front side, and then I have like this on the back. And I just ordered them, so they should arrive next week. Other thing that I did was actually set up the web page that I have, that the business card is directing people to. This is where I used to have my blog for the game project I was making, which I'm not making anymore, so that was kind of pointless. So now it looks like this. It's literally just a link to Read Lovely People and then the newsletter side up. I actually figured out how to do, for the first time in my life, how to do responsive layouts. Let's see if I can get this to work. Okay, so they're side by side when it's wide enough to see both, like this. Whee! But then it gets too narrow and it jumps down here instead. Ta-da! Wasn't that hard actually. Looked harder than it seemed on the tutorial, but it turned out to be pretty easy. So on desktop it will be like this, and on tablets, and then on like mobile phones people will see like this instead. So that's what I've done. Business card that points to my website, to the newsletter, and here's actually the newsletter. I'm ready to for the books to arrive. I'm working on that. I've also been, of course, working on, my main comic. Got to get my 4 pages a week done. My beautiful sketches. And Kitty wants to come inside. Oh, the windows are so dirty. I haven't done the window cleaning yet. I'm waiting for it to get warm enough to actually do it. The books just arrived. I already looked at one. Oh man, it's really windy. I'll carry this inside and then show you guys them before it starts raining. I'm so excited. It looked really good, the book I looked at, but I didn't check it properly yet. I got so excited. Okay, the books just arrived. The Lovely People books. I have boxes over here and boxes over here. That area is just a mess. And then I have boxes over here. Oh, it wasn't that many because the book is way smaller than my usual ones. So the amount of boxes was only 1,000. No, that's the amount of books. Amount of pallets were 1.5. So it didn't take too long to carry them all inside. Let's take a look at the books. Alright, look at it. I don't know if the camera picks it up very well, but it's like a very matte silver. The printing on the text, which I really like. It's a very simple, but oh, I like it so much. It's so tiny. It's I thought it was going to feel a lot bigger, which I'm happy that it doesn't. I'm just so pleased with how lightweight it is. For size reference, it's actually the same width as the SSSS books. It's just a square, and the thickness is about half of the book 3. A little bit less. No, wait. Yeah, about half. This one is 2 centimeters. This one is 1 centimeter. But it just feels like it's only, I don't know, a quarter the size and weight. Yeah. I mean, it is only 80 pages, while the SSSS book is 300. So it makes sense that it's feels a lot lighter, which I'm happy about because it means, easier to read and everything. Keep in your hands. Because one of the problems with my big books is that they are pretty heavy. You actually get tired keeping them and reading them. Yeah. The size of the text is good, and yeah. And I'm happy with the color of the end papers. A lot of the stuff is the materials and things. I made my request to the printer, and I kind of told them that I trust their expertise without having to like touch things beforehand. So I just kind of looked at what the lists of things were and like colors for things. So it was like the dark blue end paper, and it's a really good color. And I just told them like what kind of paper I would want. It's a little bit thicker than the ones in the SSS books, but it's not a lot heavier. I actually asked them like, do you have a type of paper that would be matte finish and good for colors and it like this weight range, but that would be a little bit thicker without adding weight, so something with a little bit of bulk. And I told them that if they have something like that, could they pick it for me and I will trust them. And they picked a good paper. I like it a lot. Yeah. Super happy. I'm gonna what am I gonna do now? I'm so frazzled. I just carried everything inside. I think I'm gonna just unpack everything from boxes. And oh yeah, what I have to do when I unpack things from boxes, I have to actually like do a quick quality check, open the books to make sure that nothing is wrong with the covers. You know, I can't obviously check every page to make sure that there isn't a printing error or something, but by checking the covers I can usually catch like most defects, you know, when they come up, maybe 1 in 100 books. And it's usually like a cover issue, like a chunk of glue will have stuck somewhere and you can't quite open it, or it doesn't like cut open the pages, so it's kind of stuck over here, or there's a scratch in the covers or a blot or something. So I have to like can just do this and this and check opening and just do like that to make sure that there's nothing weird. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do now. At least get some of the books out, otherwise I'm gonna spend the whole day here. So I figured I would make a little bit of a voiceover as I'm rounding up the vlog, while you guys get to see me check some of the books. I hope you can't hear the people in the other studio next doors. The walls are pretty thin, and I hope they don't hear me, so I'll try to not speak too loudly. So yeah, I think I would talk about the subject that some people were dismayed by how blunt the comic is, and we're hoping that I would have been more subtle and allowing for people to make their own conclusions and, you know, don't be so direct with it. But no, that was not like a mistake or overlookment. I don't know if that's a word on my part. It was a very deliberate decision to be very blunt with the story. I was actually thinking about that a lot because, you know, I like making very open-ended and free for interpretation and not ruffling anyone's feathers kind of stories, because that's the kind of person I mostly am. But for this one, I knew it was, I mean, I have two very important messages that I made the comic for. One is the, I guess, kind of a explanation of how our social credit system works, and I wanted to be very clear with what it is and how it functions. And the second is the Christian message, the Christian message. And I was struggling with both of them, with how direct I should be. And the more I worked on it, the more I realized that I have to be as direct as I can. And I have to, you know, not shy away from being truthful out of fear of making anyone not like the comic because of it, or being worried that it wouldn't sell well or whatever. You know, if I wanted to make a comic that would make me a lot of money, I wouldn't make it about something, you know, like this, you know. I would make something completely different. So yeah, it was a very deliberate decision. I actually was thinking about how I read, when I was reading 1984, a couple years ago, I think. I don't know when. But I remember I was actually kind of annoyed with the latter part of the book with how blunt that one was. I'm feeling like, the author could have, stopped being so banging you over the head with the message. You have a lot of explanation of the things, how the system works, and monologues, and just everything kind of turn up to the 9th degree. I don't think that's a saying. The nth degree. There we go. I think a 9th degree is some sort of interrogation tactic. But yeah, it was like, I felt like it went way over the top. Like, I got it. Things are pretty bad in this society. I don't need to have like the last third of the book explaining to me the ins and outs of everything and what everything means. But, afterwards, there's a reason why that book and Orwell's, the other book, they are so influential and people remember them, is because he didn't really allow for open-endedness and you making your own interpretation of what his story means. He had a message he wanted to tell about, I guess, the different aspects of the socialist regimes at the time, or of his time. And he was very direct with it. And that's why people remember his books. I mean, there's so many novels and books about different dystopias that maybe are more fun to read, but people don't remember them after 10 years, but they remember that one. So I figured that would be kind of similar with my story. I need to be direct enough that even if people don't like it, that they would remember it. Because that's what I want people to do when they read a story. I want them to remember it in the future, if something like this happens in the future, like in another, 40 years. I don't know how quickly society can change. Judging from the last few years even, I would say pretty darn fast. But yeah, I mean, I might just be dead at that point from old age, 80 years old. By the time it might be properly relevant, and if someone read it and still remembers it a little bit, just a small snippet, and they might benefit from it, be it secularly or in the soul-saving way. But yeah, maybe I'll talk more about my my writing techniques, not techniques, but how I arrived at the story and everything in the future when I feel like it. I don't know, when I have like clearer thoughts that I can share, if it's interesting to anyone. But yeah, that's what I felt like saying right now, or more like what I actually had to think about. I have nothing else to talk about other than gardening and this comic right now. So yeah, I'm happy to share that, and I'm happy to start selling these books for everyone who wants them. I need to be careful with my stacks of books as I'm checking them. They're kind of ready to fall over. One of them already almost did. But do you guys see my Humming Fluff logo on this? I don't think I can show it to you. I'm very happy with it. Look at that. So official looking. It's self-published, but doesn't mean you can't make it look professional. Self-publishing is real publishing nowadays. And I do have a, graphics designer's, what do you call it, education degree. Got to put it to use, make some nice professional logos. It's the same one I have on the sticker. I just reused it. And by sticker I mean it's so messy. It's this one that I will use to close the packages when you guys get them. There we go. I found one book out of this huge stack that was defective. I think you can see it. All these little speckles on the cover. They are some sort of dust and dirt. Feels like sawdust almost. I think that's on the back cover also. Yeah, look at that. Or maybe it's like paper dust or something. I don't know. What I think has happened to this one is the cover must have been drying, like the laminate of it. and something was placed on it while it was drying. But yeah, something happened to this one when it was drying. Horrible. So 1 defective found in maybe 100. That's all for this vlog. Next time I might actually start selling them, so you guys will get a lot of packing footage and me running into trouble with technology and everything, most likely. So see you then.